Ever wondered what the wealthiest Americans secretly indulged in during the 1970s? From lavish caviar spreads to exotic French dishes, their tables were set with culinary delights that were not only delicious, but also a status symbol of the era. Number 1. Foie gras. Foie gras, which translates to fat liver in French, is a gourmet delicacy made from the liver of ducks or geese that have been specially fattened. Its roots trace back to ancient Egypt, but it gained international fame through French culinary traditions. The birds are typically fed through a process called gavage, where they are given a diet designed to enlarge their livers and create the buttery, rich texture foie gras is known for. This results in a unique flavor and texture, soft, smooth, and luxurious, that sets it apart from other liver preparations. In the 1970s, foie gras saw a surge in popularity among the wealthy as global travel and interest in haute cuisine grew. The dish was often served as a pâte or terrine, paired with accompaniments like brioche, fig jam, or balsamic reduction to enhance its sweet and savory notes. High-end restaurants would prepare it pan-seared or torchon style, where the foie gras is wrapped in a cloth and gently poached, creating a creamy, melt-in-your-mouth experience. This period marked a turning point in American dining, as more chefs began to explore and introduce French gourmet techniques to elite diners. The production of foie gras is both artisanal and controversial. The delicacy's production is highly regulated in places like France, ensuring that the process meets specific standards for quality. These regulations contribute to its high price, making foie gras a true luxury item. Its consumption, however, sparked ethical debates regarding animal welfare, with foie gras bans emerging in places like California and New York due to the force-feeding process. Despite this, it remains a sought-after symbol of opulence and a fixture in gourmet menus worldwide. Number 2, the era of showmanship in dining. In the 1970s, dining was transformed into an immersive experience with a focus on theatrical presentation, setting the stage for the era of showmanship in fine dining. This was a time when dining out was as much about entertainment and ambiance as it was about the meal itself. Upscale restaurants became stages for extravagant displays. Chefs would flambé dishes at the table, carve meats with expert skill in front of guests, and use lavish silverware to enhance the experience. The flambé technique, where alcohol like cognac or brandy was ignited to create a blaze, was particularly popular for dishes like crêpe Suzette and steak Diane. The flames were not only an impressive visual spectacle, but also enhanced the flavors of the dish. Waitstaff were often trained in tableside service, bringing a sense of ceremony and exclusivity to each meal. Even salads were elevated to theatrical experiences. Caesar salad was often prepared from scratch at the table, showcasing fresh ingredients and meticulous technique. The equipment used in showmanship became part of the spectacle. Garrotin trolleys for tableside service, silver cloches for dramatic unveilings, and carving stations on wheels. Desserts also played a starring role in this era. Baked Alaska, flambéed with rum, would light up a dimly lit dining room, making for an unforgettable finale. The intricate preparation of soufflés, meticulously timed to rise and be served immediately, required precision and added an element of suspense as guests anticipated the perfect dish. These techniques, borrowed from European, particularly French, traditions redefined luxury dining, making the meal a sensory experience where presentation and taste combined to create an unforgettable performance. Number 3, Lobster Thermidor. Lobster Thermidor is a French-inspired dish that gained popularity among the wealthy in the early 20th century and became an iconic representation of opulence by the 1970s. This dish involves cooking lobster meat in a rich, creamy sauce made from egg yolks, brandy or cognac, and mustard, often with additions like cream, cheese, typically Gruyere, and herbs for depth of flavor. The mixture is then spooned back into the lobster shell, topped with more cheese, and baked until golden and bubbling, creating a luxurious combination of flavors and textures. The dish's origins date back to the early 1900s in Paris, where it was created to celebrate the debut of the play Thermidor. By the 1970s, lobster thermidor had become a status symbol in fine dining, often served in upscale restaurants or prepared at home for special occasions. Its presentation was equally important to its taste, as the stuffed lobster shells added a dramatic and elegant flair to the table, making it a centerpiece-worthy dish. Part of the appeal was the labor-intensive preparation and the need for premium ingredients, which emphasized the skill of the chef and the exclusivity of the dish. This complexity made it a statement of culinary prowess and sophistication. Lobster thermidor was traditionally paired with wines like Chardonnay or Champagne, which enhanced its rich and creamy profile, making the dining experience even more extravagant. It represented a fusion of French culinary artistry with American extravagance, embodying the desire for refined, indulgent flavors that were characteristic of the high-end dining scene of the era. Number 4. Veal Oscar. Veal Oscar is a luxurious dish rooted in Scandinavian culinary traditions, named in honor of King Oscar II of Sweden. It is a multi-layered, refined entree that became a staple in high-end dining throughout the 1970s. The dish consists of tender veal cutlets, typically pounded thin and pan-seared to a golden brown, which forms the base layer. The veal is then topped with premium crab meat, often Dungeness or blue crab, adding a delicate sweetness and contrasting texture. Asparagus spears are laid on top, not just for their flavor, but also for their vibrant green color, which provides a visual element of elegance to the dish. The crowning element is a rich béarnaise sauce, made from clarified butter emulsified with egg yolks and flavored with herbs like tarragon and shallots. The sauce adds a creamy, buttery finish with a tangy, herbal note that complements the veal, crab, and asparagus. This combination of land and sea ingredients, along with the herbaceous béarnaise, creates a sophisticated flavor profile, balancing the tender meatiness of veal with the sweetness of crab and the earthy freshness of asparagus. Veal Oscar's complexity in preparation made it an indicator of culinary skill and finesse. It was a popular choice at upscale steakhouses and continental restaurants, where tableside presentation would often be part of the experience, emphasizing its elegance and craftsmanship. In a way, Veal Oscar reflected the growing American interest in global cuisines during the 1970s, offering a blend of classic European techniques with a distinctly American taste for luxurious ingredients and dramatic presentation. Number 5. Escargot. Escargot, a dish made from cooked land snails, was a symbol of sophistication and adventure in fine dining during the 1970s. Traditionally hailing from French cuisine, the dish was embraced by upscale restaurants in America, becoming an indicator of both culinary expertise and the diner's willingness to explore unique flavors. The snails were typically prepared with a garlic and herb butter, known as beurre d'escargot, which included parsley, shallots, and white wine. Once the snails were cooked in this aromatic mixture, they were placed back into their shells and served hot, often in specialized escargot dishes that held each shell in place, ensuring an elegant presentation. And this buttery, aromatic sauce paired perfectly with the slightly chewy texture of the snails, making the dish both savory and indulgent. Escargot's appeal in the 1970s wasn't only about taste, it was also about the experience. Diners were often provided with special tools, a small two-pronged fork to extract the snail meat, and tongs to hold the shell steady, adding a layer of interaction and exclusivity to the meal. Importing snails was a costly endeavor, and they were often sourced from Burgundy in France, where the specific Helix pomatia variety was prized for its taste. As escargot's popularity grew, some chefs began experimenting with different sauces beyond the traditional garlic butter, incorporating ingredients like tomato, brandy, or cream to diversify the dish while maintaining its luxurious appeal. Number 6. Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska is a show-stopping dessert that became the height of elegance and spectacle in the 1970s, known for its dramatic presentation and contrast of textures. The dish is composed of 3 distinct layers: a base layer of sponge cake, a middle layer of ice cream, and an exterior coating of meringue. The key to Baked Alaska's allure lies in its unique preparation. The meringue acts as an insulating layer that prevents the ice cream from melting when the entire dessert is quickly baked or flambéed. The meringue is typically whipped until stiff peaks form, providing a light and airy texture that becomes golden and slightly crispy when exposed to heat. One of the most theatrical ways to serve baked Alaska is by flambeing it tableside. A liquor, usually rum or brandy, is poured over the meringue and set alight, resulting in a short-lived blaze that impresses diners and caramelizes the meringue without affecting the ice cream underneath. This contrast of hot and cold, soft and crispy, made it a favorite for special occasions and upscale dining experiences. Originally, the dessert was popularized in the 19th century to celebrate the acquisition of Alaska by the United States, but it reached peak fame during the mid-20th century. By the 1970s, it was synonymous with luxury, highlighting the growing trend of dining as performance art. The flavor of the ice cream inside could vary, ranging from classic vanilla to exotic flavors like pistachio or raspberry, making baked Alaska not only visually spectacular, but also versatile in taste. It required precision and timing to execute correctly, adding to its status as a chef's showcase. Number 7. Surf and turf. Surf and turf, a dish that epitomized luxury and indulgence in the 1970s, pairs the finest from both the land and the sea. This classic combination often includes a high-quality cut of beef, such as filet mignon, ribeye, or tenderloin, accompanied by an upscale seafood item like lobster tail, jumbo prawns, or scallops. The essence of surf and turf lies in its opulence, showcasing the diner's ability to enjoy the best of both worlds, succulent meat and delicate seafood, both prepared with gourmet techniques. The origins of the dish are debated, with some attributing its rise to the American steakhouse scene and others pointing to early surf and turf references in Australia. By the 1970s, it had cemented its place on the menus of upscale restaurants and was a popular choice for special occasions, where diners sought to experience a lavish meal. The preparation and plating would vary. The steak might be grilled, pan-seared, or even served with a peppercorn crust, while the lobster could be broiled, grilled, or butter-poached. Rich sauces such as béarnaise, hollandaise, or garlic butter were common to enhance the flavors of both components. The popularity of surf and turf also reflected the growing access to luxury ingredients in the 70s, with improvements in shipping allowing for fresh seafood to be available across the country, even in inland areas. Pairing the rich, savory flavors of beef with the sweet, delicate taste of seafood created a dynamic culinary experience that exemplified the excess and sophistication of the era. It was often served alongside sides like asparagus, truffle mashed potatoes, or roasted vegetables to round out the meal. Number 8. Salmon en croûte. Salmon en croûte, also known as salmon Wellington, is a refined dish where fresh salmon fillet is wrapped in puff pastry and baked until golden brown. Originating from French culinary traditions, this dish became popular in the 1970s for its elegant presentation and balanced flavors. The salmon is typically marinated or seasoned with herbs like dill, lemon zest, and sometimes Dijon mustard for a subtle tang. Before being wrapped in pastry, the fish is often topped with a layer of spinach, mushroom duxelles, or cream cheese, mixed with herbs, which adds moisture and richness. The puff pastry not only serves as a vessel, but also becomes crisp and flaky when baked, creating a beautiful contrast to the tender, moist salmon inside. A variation of the dish includes wrapping the salmon in crepes before the pastry to help retain moisture and add an extra layer of flavor. Once encased, the salmon is egg-washed to enhance the pastry's golden color when baked. It is typically served with a light, creamy sauce, such as a white wine, dill, or beurre blanc sauce, to complement the delicate flavor of the fish and enhance its luxurious feel. Salmon en croûte was a popular choice for dinner parties, as the preparation could be done ahead of time, and its presentation when sliced revealed a beautiful cross-section of layers. The dish's appeal lies in its sophistication and balance, offering a rich, buttery experience that remains light and flavorful. Number 9. Crab Louie. Crab Louie, also known as the King of Salads, is a classic American dish originating from the West Coast, particularly San Francisco, around the early 20th century. By the 1970s, it had become a favorite among affluent diners for its fresh, luxurious ingredients and elegant presentation. The centerpiece of this salad is fresh Dungeness crab meat, known for its sweet flavor and tender texture. The crab is typically served chilled and placed atop a bed of crisp iceberg lettuce, providing a refreshing crunch. Traditional accompaniments include ripe tomatoes, hard-boiled eggs, asparagus spears, and black olives, creating a vibrant mix of colors and textures. The dressing, Louie sauce, is what gives the salad its distinctive character. Often made with a base of mayonnaise or Thousand Island dressing, mixed with chili sauce, lemon juice, Worcestershire sauce, and sometimes a hint of horseradish for an extra kick. The tangy and creamy dressing complements the natural sweetness of the crab, enhancing its flavor without overpowering it. Crab Louie was a popular choice for upscale lunch or light dinner in the 1970s, reflecting the growing trend for lighter, health-conscious, yet luxurious dishes. Often served in a large, shallow bowl or on an elegant platter, the salad became synonymous with California's laid-back yet refined culinary style. Its appeal lay in the simplicity of its preparation, paired with high-quality, fresh ingredients, making it a go-to dish for high-end dining on the West Coast. Number 10. Tournedos Rossini. Tournedos Rossini is a luxurious and decadent French dish, celebrated for its rich flavors and lavish ingredients. Named after the 19th century Italian composer Gioacchino Rossini, it was supposedly created for him by his friend and chef Marie-Antoine Carême, although some attribute its invention to the French chef Auguste Escoffier. This entree showcases a perfectly seared filet mignon, typically cut into a thick, round steak called a tournedos. The meat is cooked to a tender medium rare and served on a crisp crouton or toasted bread base to soak up the juices. The true extravagance of Tournedos Rossini comes from its luxurious toppings, foie gras and black truffles. A seared slice of foie gras is placed atop the steak, adding a velvety richness, while thin shavings of truffle provide an earthy, aromatic depth that elevates the entire dish. It is then drizzled with a rich Madeira or port wine sauce, which intensifies the flavors and adds a glossy finish. The interplay between the tender beef, the silky foie gras, and the aromatic truffles creates a symphony of textures and tastes, making this dish a favorite in the realm of haute cuisine. This indulgent dish was a popular choice among the elite dining circles of the 1970s, embodying the era's preference for opulent and complex flavors. Its dramatic presentation and use of rare ingredients meant it was often reserved for the most exclusive restaurants and occasions, serving as a testament to both culinary skill and refined taste.